Right before our engagement, my girlfriend grabbed a junior and crazily enjoyed her final single night at a hotel. But right after, just calmly showed up at our engagement party, like absolutely nothing happened. And when I confronted her, she furiously yelled right back at me. Me making a massive scene. She actually said that spending her whole life with just me would be a huge loss, that he was just a normal friend, and helping a friend relieve some stress was totally natural. I just looked down at that wildly inappropriate photo of the two of them, turned around, and tossed her precious wedding dress straight into the trash. But tell me this, why is it that when I finally walked away, she completely lost her mind? She dragged that dress out of the garbage, put it on, and sobbed, begging me to marry her. Meanwhile, I just quietly held up my brand new marriage certificate. Sorry, miss, but who exactly are you? One day before the engagement party, right at the actual venue, I received a photo of my girlfriend with another man. It was a clear, officially stamped picture, leaving absolutely no room for doubt. Below the picture was a little message. Come to the wedding backstage. There is a surprise waiting for you. I stared at her bright, beaming face in that photo, and a terrible sinking feeling completely took over. I walked into the backstage area all by myself. Right at that moment, she was wearing the red dress meant for the ceremony, sitting right on some guy's lap. Their breathing was totally heavy and messed up. I took a deep breath and called her phone. The ringtone echoed from a far corner. She startled for a second, but then immediately threw her arms around the man's neck, annoyed, saying not to let that useless loser ruin their mood. Let's just keep going. I realized who the man was. Tran. Now get this. The guy was Tran Track, her junior from the college modeling club. Gripping my phone tight, my chest felt totally crushed under a massive rock. It was getting unbelievably hard to breathe. Honestly, I have no idea how I even managed to stumble out to the hotel entrance. I just knew. My legs were completely numb, standing frozen in the blinding sunlight, my eyes stinging. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was her calling me back. Diantine, let's delay the engagement for a few days. Why? Even though I knew the real reason, my heart just wouldn't accept it. Why ask so much? What kind of man talks this much? Besides, it's not like you are paying. I'll cover all the delay fees. No need, Tamhu. So, I chuckled softly. No need to waste any more money, and no need to delay it either. Let's just cancel. She froze, and then her voice turned totally sharp. Lanthian tongue, what the hell is wrong with you? I gave a bitter smile. Why don't you look outside and see? She suddenly stopped. Her eyes met mine right through the hotel doors. Standing right behind her was Tran Track, holding that same red dress in his hands. And on that dress, some highly suspicious white stains. The scene from earlier instantly flooded my mind again, making my stomach completely twist up inside. A violent wave of nausea. Hanging up, I just drove off alone. By the time Tamhu Sal got back home, I had already packed my bags, standing there, directing the movers. She stood at the door, her gaze sweeping across the room before finally landing on me. Lam Ken Tang. How old are you playing this runaway game to scare someone? Her voice was ice cold, her face clearly showing just how completely impatient she was. Before, if she was even slightly upset, I would rush to comfort her. But now, I just don't want to force myself to do it anymore. I grabbed my luggage and walked right past her. You're just in time. I finished clearing out my room. Let's find time to explain things to our families. Tamhu So looked down at the suitcase in my hand, her frown deepening. Lam Thien Thang, is this really necessary? Just me? You can have as much money as you want. No need to work. Just eat and enjoy life every day. Isn't that nice? Besides, Trash is just my junior. We haven't seen each other in ages. Is a little hug really so weird? Are you really getting jealous over a kid like that? You really are being unreasonable. You're so much older than him, yet you care about such nonsense. I let out a cold laugh. Tran Track is really just a junior? Tran Track is young, handsome, a sweet talker, and funny. He always knows how to make Tamhu So happy. Aside from having zero money, he basically has everything a woman could ever want. But to Tamhu So, money has never been an issue anyway. She stayed totally silent for a second, then narrowed her eyes. You are not ready for her excuse. Fine. If you already saw, I won't even. pretend anymore. Behind a successful woman, can't there be a few good men? You really shouldn't be so petty about this whole thing.
But if you're so bothered by that kid, I can deal with him.
Bothered?
I think any normal person would be, seeing their fiancé getting all
Intimate with another guy. It's just completely disgusting. But seeing her absolutely indifferent attitude about the whole thing, I just felt entirely hollow inside. Right now, I've completely let it go. It doesn't matter. That's your business. Do whatever you want. It has nothing to do with
me at all. Tom Husso furrowed her brow. Lam Thien Tang, stop throwing a tantrum. Tomorrow is the engagement ceremony, and now you are just
saying, cancel? Where do we put the Tham family's face? Her expression darkened, voice turning into a growl. Don't be ungrateful. Tomorrow you must absolutely be there on time, or else. I raised an eyebrow. Or else what? You'll beat me up and kick me out of the Pham family? Do you have another way? Honestly, there's no need to make it that complicated. The engagement party can still happen, I just won't be attending it. Seeing my totally indifferent expression, her face looked even worse. Are you seriously sure you want to leave me? If you step out of this house, don't ever dream of coming back. The Tham family will have absolutely nothing to do with you anymore. I coldly stared at the woman.
I used to love so deeply. Since when did she change this much? It's the exact same face, yet now she feels so completely foreign. She actually thought.
Everyone thought I stayed for the status and all that Shin family money. But from the very start, the only thing I truly wanted was just her. I grabbed my bags. Without saying another word, I signaled the moving crew to load my entire life into the waiting car.
Thẩm Hữu Sơ screams right behind me. Lâm Thiên Thanh, without me you are nothing but a dog. Do not forget who gave you everything you have.
Without me by your side, you are completely useless. You are not even worth the trash on the street. Hearing those exact words coming right out of her mouth makes me feel like I am suffocating. My throat tightens up like an invisible hand is crushing it, leaving me completely unable to even speak. Thẩm Hữu Sơ is not wrong though. For years, I lived under her roof. The two of us were basically childhood sweethearts, growing up side by side. But when I hit middle school, my dad ran into serious business trouble. His company went completely bankrupt, and from that moment on, he just never recovered. He drowned himself in cheap alcohol every single day. Whenever my mom tried to talk sense into him, he beat her mercilessly. Back then, my only goal was protecting her, so I tampered with his car. I wanted that monster gone for good, so I cut his brake lines. But I never expected that my own stupid actions would turn me into an orphan. Total tragedy. Mom had finally convinced him to get up and find a real job. But she was worried and insisted on driving him to the interview herself. The crash happened on the way there. Tom Husso could not bear the thought of me getting shipped off to some grim orphanage. She talked her family into taking me in and paying for my living expenses. I ended up graduating smoothly. I originally planned to move out and build my own career from scratch, but then Thẩm Hữu Sơ suddenly confessed her feelings, completely ruining all my plans. The Shan family furiously cursed me out as an ungrateful snake. They claimed I was scheming to manipulate Thẩm Hữu Sơ. From that moment on, their whole attitude completely changed, but they could not handle her constant begging, so they finally gave in. To prevent any unexpected schemes on my part, they forced a strict condition. They made me sign a formal dating contract. It clearly stated that if we ever got married, I would have absolutely zero right to be involved in any Shen family business decisions. I also gave up all rights to inherit a single cent of their massive fortune. Looking at the totally sincere affection in her eyes, I hesitated, just for a second, but in the end, I signed that ridiculous contract anyway. Right after that, we sneaked off and officially registered our marriage. But since the mighty Shen family refused to acknowledge me, we never had a real wedding ceremony. Back then, Thẩm Hữu Sơ looked at me and actually promised.
Wait until I take over everything in the Shen family. I promise I will throw you the most incredibly grand engagement party the world has ever seen.
After that, we are going to have a breathtaking, romantic wedding of the century to make up for all our current regrets. Hearing that, I just stood there, smiling, dreaming about our beautiful future. I honestly thought she felt the exact same way. Bound by that one promise, I quietly stayed right by her side for. 3 whole years, I watched her grow step by step, dominating the corporate battlefield and becoming a ruthless expert in running the family business. Right when I was feeling genuinely proud of her success, Tren Chak showed up. This guy knows exactly how to play the spoiled victim. With just a few sweet words, he easily makes Thum Hyu Sir laugh with pure joy. And me? I am just dull and boring. I only know how to quietly take care of her. The way she looks at me grows colder by the day. That gaze full of love slowly morphed into sheer disgust. Now that her brilliant career
is rock solid, I figured we could finally build a real family of our own. But time and time again, she just brushes the topic off completely.
She dodges it completely. I thought she was just stressed out and not ready yet. But you want to know the absolute worst part about all of this? She was just terrified I would ruin her little flings on the side. Swallowing down my rage, I turn around to meet the absolutely furious glare coming from
Thum Hyu Sir. I look right at her. Thum Hyu Sir. You get exactly what you want. We are completely done. You can go chase as many guys as
you want now. Game over. I turn and walk straight out of the banquet. Years of loyalty, earning me nothing but her screaming at my back. That very same night, I instantly pack up and move out of our shared house. The wedding ring, along with my completely shattered heart, get violently tossed right into the nearest trash can. Thum Hyu Sir, I do not owe you a single thing anymore. Early the next morning, I get jolted awake by the frantic ringing of my cell phone. The second I open my eyes, the absolute manic screaming of Thum Hyu Sir blasts right through the speaker. She yells out, "Lam Tien!" "Dang, what the hell are you playing at? The engagement ceremony is starting soon. Are you doing this on purpose just to humiliate me in front of the elders?"
Even at a time like this, all she cares about is saving her own precious reputation. To promote this fake marriage, the mighty Shen Corporation actually went out and invited tons of major media outlets. But why is that my problem anymore? I vividly remember telling her straight to her face just last night that we were completely
done. You think throwing a tantrum is funny? Thum Hyu Sir absolutely refuses to drop it. She just keeps barking her aggressive questions over the phone. She claims if I fail at clinging to her, a whole line of guys is waiting to take my place. Do not be stupid, she says. You have exactly 1 hour to get over here, apologize to the elders, and lie that you overslept. She angrily hangs up the phone, completely cutting off any chance for me to fight back. Or refuse. I just stand there frozen, gripping my phone tightly. And suddenly, it hits me. The memory of that fierce young girl who once dragged me out of the dark. She used to grip my hand tightly, chasing off those awful bullies. Even covered in bruises herself, she would flash this huge grin just to reassure her. Me. She told me, "Tien Than, you still have me. Do not be scared. I am going to protect you forever." Those childhood memories used to taste so incredibly sweet. But I cannot even pinpoint when the shift happened. When exactly did Thum Hyu Sir start losing her patience, slowly tossing me aside like yesterday's trash? I think it over for a second and decide to show up anyway. I owe the family elders a proper explanation, and then I am ending this circus for good. I originally planned to catch a taxi to the hotel, but checking my pockets, I only had $7 left, so I had to walk. But even running my absolute hardest, I still arrived 20 minutes later than Thum Hyu So's strict deadline. The second I step into the grand hall, I immediately spot Thum Hyu So right there. She is locking arms with Tren Chak, both of them standing on the red carpet. I just watch them exchange vows and rings, feeling completely freezing cold all over. The groom is actually Tren Chak? Before they can even finish the wedding ceremony, a whole crowd of reporters quickly rushes right up to them. They yell out, "CEO Thum, I recall today's groom was supposed to be your childhood friend Lam Tien Thang. Why is it suddenly this guy?" The moment someone starts, other reporters instantly push their way in. "CEO Thum," they ask, "isn't the person standing right next to you, Mr. Lam?" "But earlier you even kissed him. May we ask what exactly your relationship is with this man?" "CEO Tham, Mr. Lam is not present at the ceremony today." "Does his absence have anything to do with the man beside you?"
These questions just keep firing off one after another, giving Tham Huso zero chance to
actually answer. Honestly, all those aggressive questions are just indirectly asking Tham Huso if Tron Track is actually her hidden side piece, and asking if I refuse to show up because of this other guy. But very quickly, Tham Huso regains her total composure, gently answering every single question. She claims he is just her junior and assistant. Because of poor health, Lam Thien Thang could not attend the official engagement ceremony today.
But since she did not want to ruin the planned schedule, she simply had to ask someone to substitute. Hearing that, I just cannot help
but laugh out loud. Totally worthy of being CEO Thumb, a woman who has survived the business world for years. In just a split second, she found
an absolutely perfect excuse. Well, maybe this is the exact moment I should make my entrance. My sudden appearance instantly makes the whole crowd murmur in shock. After all, I am standing here completely healthy, not a single sign of sickness on me. Now, watch this unfold. It seems Tham Huso's what a lie just got completely exposed right to her face. When did you arrive? Tham Huso asks me. I just stare with zero emotion and reply, right when you two were passionately cuddling. Just one sentence is enough to make her face turn completely pale. Her lips tremble like she wants to explain herself, but in the end, she cannot even utter a single word. Right then, the host hastily speaks up to smooth things over. He announces, "It seems this is the real main character of today. The true main character has finally arrived, so the little wedding rehearsal is officially over. Everyone please give a very warm round of applause to welcome the lovely bride and groom." I just glance over at the host, who is visibly dripping with nervous sweat. Honestly, this is probably the hardest wedding he has ever hosted in his entire life. I get pulled away to change clothes and fix my makeup incredibly fast. Less than 10 minutes later, I am pushed right back onto the stage. Once again, Tham Huso takes slow steps toward me, her gorgeous wedding dress lightly sweeping across the floor. Standing right beside me, she leans in close to me, my ear, lowering her voice to warn me, "Do not cause a scene here." I completely ignore that little warning, just standing in total silence. The host nervously has to continue. The formal ceremony. Miss Tham Huso, he asks, "In sickness and in health, do you promise to deeply love and cherish Lam Thien Thang?"
Taking him as your husband? A quick flash of disgust actually crosses Tham Huso's eyes. But even though she is clearly unwilling, she still reluctantly
forces out the words, "I do." Then the host quickly turns to me. "Lam Thien Thang, in sickness and in health, do you promise to never betray Tham Huso, choosing her as your wedded wife?" Camera flashes are going off continuously. All the reporters are leaning in, attentively waiting. The elders on both sides even show these satisfied smiles. But under all those heavily expectant eyes, I just take a very deep breath, then seriously say, "I absolutely do not." The entire hall instantly explodes into total uproar. The truth is, I never even planned to attend this ceremony anyway. After all, me and Tham Huso already broke up for good. But to prevent anyone from using my name for their dirty little tricks, I still showed up. Having said that, I completely ignore all their probing stares, turning my back and walking right away. Tham Huso just freezes in place, staring blankly at my retreating back, stunned, entirely speechless. It takes her a few seconds to finally snap out of it and hastily chase after me. Now pay close attention here. She trips, and the pure white dress instantly gets dirty. "Thien Thang, stop right there," she loudly screams from behind. I have absolutely no intention of stopping my pace. "Someone, stop him!" The moment she yells that, a whole group of bodyguards immediately rushes out to surround me. The entire hall is shaken. Nobody ever expected that this fancy party would turn into such an incredibly dramatic show. Everyone is watching with burning curiosity, following the intense scene playing out right at the hall's exit. I turn around and let out a cold laugh. "What is the matter, Miss Tham? Are you planning to force me into marriage? In broad daylight, in front of all these high-status guests. Are you sure you want to do that?" No, it is not like that. Tham Huso stumbles forward. She is only just now realizing I am not joking around at all. From the exact moment I stood on that stage and said those words, she finally understood that I truly want to leave her forever. For the very first time since taking control of the Tham family, she actually feels like something is completely slipping out of her control. Vientang, you cannot leave. You promised me. We said we would be together for our whole lives. In a panic, she grabs tightly onto my shirt, her voice completely stuttering. I just look at her, full of heavy doubt. Because she is so incredibly tense, she grips my shirt so tight that a fingernail actually snaps, bright red drops falling down and staining that pure white wedding dress. If this were the past, just seeing her get hurt like that, I definitely would have panicked, completely devastated and crushed. I would even be willing to endure the pain for her 10 times over. But now I just quietly observe her. I coldly tell her, promises? When you were happily hugging someone else, those words completely lost all their meaning. After you finish your business here, go home and explain everything to the elders yourself. Right now, I really have to go. As for my fiancé status, save it to comfort that precious junior of yours, I tell her. No thanks. Thumb Sir burst into tears, screaming out that her husband from the very beginning could only ever be me. That is quite enough. Her breakdown gets cut off by an angry shout from Mr. Thumb. He just shoots a dark glare. And immediately someone rushes in to drag Thumb Sir away. Today's party finally ends in absolute chaos. But pay attention here. I really thought that after making such a massive scene, she and the whole Thumb family would finally let me go. But surprisingly, she still refuses to give up. She somehow thinks I am just throwing a tantrum. She messages me, Tiantan, I am so sorry. I know I was wrong. In the past, it was because I was way too busy, so I failed to care for you. From now on, I will treat you so much better. If you are still mad, just take a few days off to rest. I will not bother you. When you cool down, just tell me, and I will come pick you up to bring you home. I honestly do not understand it. Who is Thumb Sir trying to act all love-struck for right now? Right after that, my phone rings once again.
It is Mr. Thumb. He demands to know where I am and tells me to come to the Thumb house immediately. Today's incident hit the trends, so I must cooperate with the Thumb family to handle it. As soon as I pick up, his freezing voice rings out, sounding exactly like a superior giving a strict order to some subordinate. Then she speaks up. Dad, please do not talk to him like that. It is fine. I can handle it. It is Thumb Sir. Finally.
Mr. Tum's icy tone actually wavers a bit as he tells her to shut up. He made you and the entire Thumb family lose so much face, and yet you
still defend him? What exactly did you promise me at the start? I do not want to hear these two putting on a play, so I just cut in. If you two want to chat, feel free. If there is nothing else, I am hanging up now. After saying that, I decisively turn off the phone entirely.
I stand right up, leave the house, and head straight for the Thumb family villa. When I arrive, the entire family is already gathered there. But the one thing
that genuinely surprises me is seeing Trinchek there too. Catching sight of me, Thumb Sir immediately stands up and hurries over. Tiantang, you made it. Have you eaten anything yet? Her completely untimely concern just makes me feel sick to my stomach. Even the rest of her family looks at her like she is fully possessed. Sir, come over here. Mr. Thumb's voice drops low. Then he shoots a very sharp, cold glare right at me.
Tiantan, I firmly believe the Thumb family has never once mistreated you, but now you have made us lose all our face. So in the end,
what exactly are your intentions? I just smile faintly at that. What intentions could I possibly have? I merely want to break up with Thumb Sir. Today's drama was not
even caused by me. I made it perfectly clear I wanted to break up, but she kept thinking I was just sulking. Even that engagement party, I really
did not want to attend. She literally forced people to drag me there. Otherwise, today's little play would never have happened. As soon as I finish, Mr. Thumb's eyes sharply sweep over toward Thumb Sir, making her duck her head, not daring to look straight at him. But at the end of the day, Thumb Sir is still his own daughter, so he can only vent his boiling anger onto me. No matter what, you also hold some responsibility in this absolute mess. Right now, you must cooperate with Sir to issue a joint statement resolving the problem. After that, we have specialists who will handle the rest. And why on earth should I agree? I ask back, my tone completely full of provocation. What does this have to do with me? Do not be so ungrateful. Mr. Thumb furiously stands right up. He snatches the heavy teacup off the table, throwing it straight at my head. I easily tilt to dodge, and then
I just stare at him coldly. Looking at all these complete hypocrites filling the room, so many memories suddenly come rushing back into my mind. Simply because.
You feel how messed up that is, right? To help Thumb User launch her business back in college, I abandoned my major and studied abroad alone. I originally had zero interest in fashion design, but for her sake, I was totally willing to start from the ground up. Every single one of my designs was handed straight over to Thumb User without a single condition attached. In the end, purely thanks to my own hard work, her entire brand managed to blow up and become extremely famous. But once someone steps into high society, they always seem to slowly lose their true nature. I do not even know when Thumb User stopped actually valuing me. She no longer calls me Thian Thang, and she certainly does not bother coming home on time anymore. Every single day, I would see her laughing and chatting it up with other men. And then, by the time Chen Trạch xuất hiện, absolutely all of her attention was poured straight into him. I just stand there staring down the Thumb family, my voice dripping with heavy sarcasm. Do you guys really think I am that desperate for this Thumb family? If she had not shamelessly confessed and
begged me to stay, I would have walked away ages ago. And you really are a shameless cheat. You want to marry him, but only dare use my name? That is just so disgusting. What right does he even have to use my name? Mrs. Thumb snaps out of it, immediately screaming for the guards to grab me. The bodyguards rush right at me. I aggressively shake their hands off and grit my teeth. Do not touch me. I can walk myself. If you lot had not forced me, do you genuinely think I would ever want to come here? I just reached the door when Thumb User finally reacts, hurriedly chasing after me.
she throws her hand up to block my path, her tone turning all soft and comforting. Thian Tan, I know you have suffered so much. I am sorry. Please do not
be so angry anymore, okay? You do not need to worry about today's mess. I will fix it. Just do not mention breaking up anymore, all right? I just frown, my eyes filled with pure contempt, not even trying to hide my total disgust. Thumb User, if you had just decisively broken up with me, I would have at least respected you for being straightforward, but right now, you are truly just disgusting and so incredibly fake. Thumb User's tears instantly start falling. She just stands there, staring at me in total shock. Her voice trembles. Do you honestly hate me that much right now? I shake my head. Not hate. I just don't see the point anymore. You don't need to play the love-sick victim. It's so fake, so pathetic. And with that, I push her aside and walk straight out. Watching my back fade into the distance, she finally realizes the harsh truth. Everything we had is actually over. Over the next few days, I reach out to Thumb User multiple times to settle our finances, but she keeps finding every excuse in the book to avoid seeing me. Left with absolutely no choice, I head straight to her house. The second she spots me, she panics and bolts upstairs. The family glares at me. They demand to know why I am here. I tell them to get Thumb User down to settle the assets. They sneer that she refuses to see me. Well, that is exactly why I came to your door. Mrs. Thumb gives me this highly suspicious look, asking if I truly want to break up with Sue, so I just shoot her a pretty cold glance. Has it really gotten to this point, and you still do not understand? How many times do I have to say it? I pull out a document and drop it onto the table. It is the asset division agreement. Tell Thumb User to sign it. Once it is notarized, I will vanish from the Thumb family forever. You can all live in peace. Mrs. Thumb grabs the paper. Seeing I am actually willing to walk away empty-handed, she freezes in shock. She agrees to convince User, but right on cue, Thumb User rushes down the stairs, screaming that she will never sign it. She tells me to stop dreaming about a breakup. I just shrug. I have plenty of time to play this little game with her. We will see if the mighty Thumb family can still save face by then. Hearing that, the expressions on every Thumb family member immediately turn sour. Thian Thang, do you really hate me that much? Thumb User stares at me, her face completely twisted in pure agony. I just roll my eyes, snapping right back at her. Get this straight. The pathetic scene happening here today is entirely not my fault. freezes for a brief second. She drops a desperate denial, then spins around and bolts back up the stairs. Watching her run away again, I just dropped my final warning. 3 days. If she does not give me an answer by then, I will gladly make this 10 times messier. But here is the catch. The Tom family is totally obsessed with their reputation, so within 3 days, they will definitely force Tom Hu. So to sign that divorce paper, if they actually let me blow this up further, the Tham family would lose all their precious face. While I calmly waited out, I suddenly get a call from the hospital. Tham Hu So has been admitted. I really do not know what kind of stunt she is trying to pull this time, but just to avoid any extra trouble, I make the trip anyway. Tham Hu So is lying in the hospital bed, her face looking super pale. An IV drip is still stuck in her arm. Spotting me, she immediately flashes a weak smile, saying she knew I still cared about her. Right, I just reply with absolute coldness. I only came to check if you were still breathing. If you are alive, go finalize our divorce procedure. Tham Hu So's smile instantly freezes over. Tears start streaming down her face. Tien Tang, I truly regret everything, she cries out, begging me not to. Abandon her like this? I give her a dry chuckle. You just regret that you will not have a loyal dog blindly serving you anymore, don't you? Tham Hu So's eyelashes tremble slightly. She clearly wants to offer some pretty little explanation, but I cut her off right there. To be brutally honest, all those times you went drinking with your friends, I heard every word. My feelings for you? In your eyes, they were just some cheap trophy. To show off. Just a joke for you and your buddies to laugh at. I literally donated a kidney to save your life, yet in your eyes, that was just something I was supposed to do, right? Wait, what? Tien Tang, what are you talking about? What do you mean you donated a kidney to me? Was the kidney for my surgery back then actually from you? Tham Hu So's eyes go wide, her face locked in total disbelief, as she stares me down. Now watch this exact realization hit her. I just let out a freezing laugh. Think about it. How could a perfect match magically appear for you in just 2 short weeks? Master Tam personally came to beg me himself. He promised to fulfill absolutely any request I had. But back then, I did not want anything at all. I only wanted you to get healthy again. During Tham Hu So's first year of college, she was diagnosed with acute kidney failure and urgently needed a transplant. When I heard the news, I immediately got tested at the hospital, and somehow, my kidney was a flawless match for her. The moment Master Tham got those results, he came directly to plead with me. But honestly, even if he never begged, I was already fully willing to do it to repay Tham Hu So's past kindness. Right now, Tham Hu So frantically dials her phone, calling Master Tham to confront him. She desperately wants to prove that her previously selfish, heartless actions actually had some valid excuse. So wait, the one who donated a kidney to me was Lam Tien Tang. Why did you lie to me, Dad? Why did you tell me the donor had already passed away? But all her aggressive questioning becomes completely meaningless the second she hears the solid, confirmed truth from the other. End of the line. The hand gripping her phone slowly drops to her side. She had thrown tantrums, fought with me endlessly for a really long time. Turns out, this was the real reason. After the surgery, I needed time to physically recover too. But in her privileged eyes, I was just some lazy coward avoiding trouble. She thought I vanished because I refused to take care of her. But honestly, bringing all this stuff up now means absolutely nothing. I tell her to sign the paperwork fast, then walk right out of the hospital. But Tham Hu So still refuses to sign, just dragging it out forever. Now, she is feeling true, crushing regret. She finally starts questioning just how horribly she acted all those years, constantly hurting me without a second thought. Over the next little while, I start making my preparations to move overseas. Half of my life was entirely dedicated to Tham Hu So. Now, I have decided to finally live for myself. Then one day, I receive another unexpected call. When her call comes in, I ask the landlord's daughter to answer it for me. Seeing the line finally connect, Tham Hu So instantly lights up with joy. She eagerly asks if it's Tien Tang, but a totally unfamiliar voice replies from the other end, asking who's calling. Pure anxiety suddenly floods Tham Hu So's chest.
Who are you? Where is Lam Tiantan? The girl just says she has no idea who that is. She just got this number and asks if there's anything else. Tom Hugh, sir. She can't even remember how she hung up the phone. She just sits slumped on the company carpet like a frozen statue, clutching her phone super tightly. Both the company and the media are in total chaos right now. Phones are ringing off the hook, but she is absolutely in no mood to answer.
Because she finally realizes the harsh truth. She and Tien Tan are completely over. After hanging up, the landlord's daughter, Dioditham, stares at me with pure curiosity.
She totally looks like she is ready for some juicy gossip. After I tell her the entire story, she gasps out loud, completely shocked by that woman's actions.
That ex really was just way too heartless and ungrateful. Young people always carry such beautiful expectations and bright illusions about real romance, even after hearing everything. Even after listening to my incredibly tragic love story, she stays super optimistic. She tells me I have to keep believing in true love, just like she does.
Don't lose all your hope just because of one terrible woman. I look into her bright, clear eyes and suddenly realize she is just so genuinely adorable.
I honestly can't help but burst out laughing. I tell her that once she gets dumped a few more times, she will understand just how impossibly hard love is.
As I tease her, she blinks her eyes, then suddenly leans right into my face. With a radiant smile, she suggests we should just try dating each other instead.
After all, she proudly claims to be the absolute goddess of pure love. I pretend to get mad and jump up, reminding her I am way older than her.
She points out I am only 2 years older. Plus, she teases, I am just a heartbroken little puppy suffering from a bad breakup. She keeps poking fun. But I turn totally serious and tell her straight up, Tildiem, I am divorced. I even donated a kidney to someone else, so my physical health
Isn't very good at all. I can't even dare to look into her sparkling eyes anymore. A wave of deep insecurity hits me, making me feel so unworthy.
I feel like a rat hiding in a dark sewer, while Tildiem is a bright sunflower blooming perfectly in the warm sunlight. The two of us
are just completely mismatched. But Tildiem stays quiet for a really long time. I let out a soft sigh, figuring that just being totally direct would make it easier to reject me.
So what?
Tildiem suddenly speaks up, making me seriously doubt my own ears for a quick second there. Are you really giving up on love just because of one failed relationship and a broken marriage? Liking you is my own business, she boldly declares. And you cannot interfere. This girl is honestly relentless. She jumps up, hugs me tight, and demands an answer right then and there. I am completely flustered. I lower my head, quietly muttering that I don't deserve her. But the second I finish speaking, I suddenly feel a warm sensation right on my forehead. Never say that. You are absolutely the most charming and wonderful person I have ever met. And just like that, as if some crazy invisible force pushes us,
Tildiem and I end up together. We get to experience this incredibly romantic, youthful kind of love. We are so smitten that it is impossible to
hide it from her landlord parents. One time, when Tildiem and I are getting ready to head out, her mom gives us this gentle, knowing look. She tells us to have fun, but remember to hold back a little and stay safe. Surprisingly, both of her parents are super supportive of our whole relationship. Especially when they find out I am planning to start a business, they help me out so much. I finally decide to throw myself back into the jewelry design industry. Thanks to the valuable knowledge and industry connections from her parents, it really doesn't take long before I manage to build up
a pretty solid reputation for myself. One day, my new design, a beautiful constellation-themed pair of rings, actually catches the eye of a major brand boss. He decides to put the setup for auction. I get an exclusive invite to the event, and of course, I bring Tildiem right along with me to share in this big excitement together. Finally, the bidding for my piece kicks off. The event host steps up to the mic with so much enthusiasm.
He proudly announces that the creator of these gorgeous rings is a famous Chinese jewelry designer. He explains to the crowd that originally, the designer hoped to wear them with his lover and stay together for a whole lifetime. But sadly, life isn't a fairy tale, and he couldn't quite make it to the end with his partner. So today, we are here to pass on the beautiful, deep meaning of happiness hidden right inside.
This amazing ring set, starting bid is $2 million. The price keeps climbing higher and higher as everyone wants to bring home a lucky charm for their romance.
4 million, 6 million, 8 million.
Just when I am totally convinced that absolutely no one will bid any higher, a terribly familiar voice suddenly, "Now, watch who steps up here. 10 million. The whole entire room goes into absolute shock. Even the auction host never expected someone to
Actually drop such an insanely high price just to buy a single piece from a moderately famous designer. 10 million going once, 10 million
going twice. 10 million sold. A huge congratulations to the CEO of Thom Group for securing this gorgeous ring set, symbolizing true love and everlasting happiness. I immediately spot that deeply familiar silhouette standing right there in the thick crowd. Compared to before, she looks so much more decisive. More mature, but somehow a whole lot more haggard too. Figuring this has to be just a total coincidence, I quickly grab Tildiem's hand and rush her right out of the hall. She clearly senses my sudden tension. "Tientine, why do you look so incredibly pale?" Just as she finishes her question, I look up and see Thum Hu Sir standing directly in front of us, still holding the rings she just won. I open my mouth, but absolutely no words come out. Teodim, on the other hand, isn't scared of strangers at all. Maybe it is just pure female intuition that makes her. Since the sudden incoming danger, she narrows her eyes at the woman blocking our way. "Hello there. Is there something you need from us?" "Thum Hu Sir." Looking a bit flustered, I guess she finally noticed Teodiem and I holding our hands so tightly together. "So you got a new girlfriend now?" She asks so carefully, but that one single question makes Teodiem bristle up instantly. "Who are you? Hold on. Are you that cheating ex-wife?"
I gently pat Teodiem's hand to calm her down. "Excuse me, Miss Tam, is there anything else you need here? Because this is actually the very
first time seeing Thom Huso since our messy hospital breakup. Looking into her eyes, that old bright clarity she used to have, it is completely gone. Now there is only this incredibly heavy, unspeakable exhaustion weighing her down. She quietly reaches out, handing the pair of rings straight over to me.
Wishing us both happiness. Then she simply turns around and walks away without a single backwards glance. Teodiem and I look at each other, then
Stare down at the rings. Tie Hu So has really changed. Teodim clicks her tongue. "Man, I totally thought she would lunge in to steal you." That just spooked me so bad. I let out a totally helpless laugh, like she could actually snatch someone away in the middle of a huge crowd. Now watch this pivot. Staring at the ring, I hesitate for a second before looking seriously right at her. "Teodiem, would you mind marrying me? How about taking on a husband?" She flashes a brilliant smile. "I do."